Hey mates, I'm Alex.
And I'm Gaston.
Welcome to Power Mates.
This is the place to learn and share about Fabric and Power Platform. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this channel with your friends and colleagues. Today's in our video, we are going to be sharing about kind of some amazing related to data and AI world features. We've been talking in the past about fabric data agents for kind of while some time. It used to be AI skills, now fabric data agent. Now it's time to link the fabric data agent with the AI Foundry. And let's get started on that.
Yeah, right, Gaston. So, first thing first, why this combo between Fabric Data Agent and AI Foundry is such a big deal? Fabric Data Agents are one of the best ways to talk with your data in natural language. And when you bring AI Foundry into the picture, you unlock the ability to build, test and deploy custom copilots powered by trusted enterprise data. Let's start with a quick refresher. A Fabric Data Agent, it's a bridge on some point between Microsoft Fabric One Lake and AI workloads. Think of it's a secure, intelligent API layer that understands your semantic models, your SQL queries, and even your data lineage. It's not just connecting, to data, it's connecting to the meaning behind your data. So now enter AI Foundry, Microsoft platform to build, orchestrate, and publish customization. So you get tools like Prompt Builder, for example, knowledge modules, memory, and the abilities to control how your agent thinks, responds, and learn over time. The magic happens when you bind your data agent into your custom agent in Foundry. Now your agent isn't just answering questions, is pulling real insight from governed real-time enterprise data.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. So, to simplify the overall process, let's go over to my machine and showcase the step-by-step process. As we always start, we start with the homepage of Fabric. This is the homepage where you see the data engineer, data factory, Power BI, all the workloads. So let's start the process, first of all, with, of course, data. The data is the full of AI. So without data, you cannot do AI. So let's start with the data. We are going to have one lakehouse. I'm going to share the lakehouse here. I have this lakehouse with all kind of fake data. In this case, it's a healthcare fake data with language, races, patient data, and all the stuff. You can see that we have plenty of columns with different data from all different patients. And this is, remember that in the lakehouse, you can have structured data in tables and structured data in files section. Then, in top of that, I'm going to go back to my workspace. In the new item, you can always create your data agent. This is just a new item in your Fabric tenant. Once you create, and I have my agent here, remember that the agent is going to be working on any data source. So when you click on data source, you can populate and say, hey, this agent is going to operate in top of my lakehouse or in top of my semantic model or any other data that I have in my tenant. So that is the first step when you create your data agent. In my case, you can see that I'm working in top of the data that I already have. I mark one of the tables in my lakehouse, and you start populating your agent with different questions. In my case, you can see in the top that I have several questions that I am asking. For example, this one, what is the distribution of patient sex across different races and ethnicities? Of course, if you don't have the data in the right cleansing or transformation layer is not going to be answer properly your questions. So my recommendation is all the time that you click on the top of your screen where you can see the example of queries, and you start training your data agent with basic questions from scratch. For example, in my case, I'm going to go to the right of my screen here and showing that my data agent is on top of my lakehouse data, and I have several examples of SQL queries. You can see different questions, like, for example, patient population by self describes sexual orientation, and I have a SQL query to access that data. Same with this one, patient population by sex, or distribution of patients by Hispanic, non Spanish group. And I gave this agent the knowledge that they need to understand what is the model, what is the data, and what is the meaning of the data. So I train the model with basic questions, and that's how the Fabric Data Agent operates. You can even import those questions and example from a JSON file. You can download all as a JSON file to export the training of your data agent. Once you're ready to go, you're going to be hitting this option here, the publish option, of course. So with the publish option, you are publishing and saying, hey, I am adding a description for end users. I am publishing this data agent. And once I publish the data agent, it's going to be giving you an endpoint that is accessible from Copilot Studio, from Power BI Chat, from web application, and of course, from AI Foundry, because that is the purpose of this video. So when I switch now to AI Foundry, check on the top of my screen that I'm using aiazure.com, and I am navigating in the left to agents here. So I am picking up the agent framework in my AI Foundry state, and I am picking up one of the agents. If I would love to join or link with a new agent that I need to provide from scratch, you can click in this option, new agent. And from new agent, you can give a name. For example, this one is going to be my PowerMates agent. I can provide the deployment that I would love to use for this agent. And I have multiple examples that I can deploy in my Azure tenant. And then in the right, I can add the knowledge base. What I need to add the knowledge base, you can add multiple files or Azure AI search for an indexing or Bing search. There's multiple options here in terms of adding a data source. But in our case, we have this Microsoft Fabric data agent, and I can click on any of the data agents, or I can provide a new connection. If you are doing a new connection, you need a workspace ID and artifact ID. How I can identify the workspace ID and the artifact ID? If I go back to my tab here with my Fabric data agent, there's a couple of things that you need to know when you are creating your data agent in Fabric. First of all, this number over here is your workspace ID. And this number over here is your artifact or your data agent ID. So with those two numbers, those are the specific IDs that you need to link your data agent in Foundry. And this is what I did in the past. That's where you see my connections here, and you can see that my data agent is customized to authenticate against the AI Foundry. In my case, because this is something that I have up and running with my agent, I can go back to my agent, picking up again the name of the agent that I was talking before. I can click on the agent. You can see the agent name, the ID, and the deployment. You can customize the deployment, of course. You can customize the agent description, of course. You can even set up the temperature and the top P here. Some of the parameters that allow you to switch and fine tuning the results of or the answers of your agent. And of course, you can add the knowledge base, but also you can click on this option that is try in the playground. Of course, this option, try in playground, is a key element to start talking with your agent, and you can bring some questions For example, I have prepared one of them that is what is the average age of patient based on ethnicity, and you can start playing around and it's going to be connecting to your fabric data agent and get the result in top of your lakehouse. So this is the way you can start playing around with the data agent and accessing and throwing questions in top of the data for your agent. And in this case, if you're not training the agent, you're not getting the result. But of course, if you're keep training the agent, it's going to be getting the right results based on your data. So, uh, Alex, what do you think about all of this? Because it is great to see that you can build a custom copilot that answers live performance metric or any kind of data, enable multiple teams to ask complex forecasting or questions, even for an HR to pull workforce stats or whatever. It's great to access right away your fabric data, and because everything sits in top of fabric, the whole governance, the row level security, the column level security, the sensitivity of labels, and the lineage stay there because it's part of the one lake security.
Yeah, that's right, and great demo. And also, this is where the future, from my perspective, of business AI is headed. Like governed, trusted, interactive, built for your enterprise. So if you're building Copilot or Agent, and you are using Microsoft Fabric, you need to try this integration. This, I think, is specific. You need to try that, because that would be a great integration and a good test for your data. That's all for today, PowerMate. And remember, don't forget to like, comment, and share if this video helped you, and subscribe, of course, to PowerMate for more deep dive just like this one.
And remember that together, let's unlock the full potential of Power Platform and Microsoft Fabric.
See ya.